Good.
I have to say that you have any specific subject for this masterclass, so that's it's limited as an open discussion about maybe my film beyond. And I'm curious about your questions, thoughts after seeing the film. Open for answering any question.
Yeah, until you think of something, comment or to ask Michal, I would try to make some introduction. Hope you saw yesterday his latest film, EO, film that was in screen in our main competition program, long feature films, directed by Skolimowski in County Cove, New Jersey. He's a famous director and made famous films, and I guess it was a great privilege for me to work with him. But let me first start with his beginnings. Maybe he can tell us how he fell in love with camera, what inspired him, what films, or maybe what cinematographers, or maybe film directors that were leading that way to decide to study, to work. He studied at Lodge, the famous academy for film. Graduated there, and after all, he did these films. Wow.
So, what can I say? I got into this school in Łódź 12 years ago. Before that, I only took the photographs. And the idea of become a cinematographer came up suddenly because I did previously lots of sport recently, and I got injured, and I started somehow I found the camera, in my house, and I started to take pictures more and more and more and more. And suddenly, I decided to focus on taking pictures and in some stage. And I thought that taking photographs is not enough interesting for me. And I decided to somehow connect it with storytelling. Because of some knowledge about cinema and who is the cinematographer, I decided to focus on trying it myself in film school. And luckily, after graduating, finishing my high school, I got to film school in Australia. So I had a lot of luck. And then I started studying cinematography there. Graduated 5 years ago. A lot of luck to work a lot with directors during my first in film school, and later on I also had an enormous amount of luck that I started shooting very quickly shorts out of the school, and later on features, mainly feature narratives and a cinematographer, and I really enjoyed it.
I saw this morning press conference that at festival that attended by one of the screenwriters, producers, and one of the main actors. And Michal was there, but not at the press conference. And they said beautiful words for him about his into eating work, and how much he his 24 hours with the camera likes to shoot all the time. This intuition that you have help them to the editing phase, that they get very beautiful product to choose many of your works that maybe were not on the script, but for example, yesterday I saw again that scene in the woods, the forest. It's like animal kingdom, spider, owl, fox. I guess that was something that you constantly that to capture.
And I mean, especially those two shots with spiders and wolves. They all both, they were both from stocks, so you know, I didn't shoot it. So yeah, I mean, what can I say? Somehow I feel that you know it was an extension of this animalistic soul of this project. You know, my approach to work, where I you know, love working with handheld camera and like you know running around the set and like capturing you know weird angles and trying to you know, capture the best footage. Somehow it's my blood, and you know, luckily, you know, I found like enough freedom, which you know Yesh gave me, and I use it in this way. Good. And so, yeah, in general, this whole project was, you know, very open. We had like, you know, well, everyone from the crew had like, you know, huge freedom of like, you know, creativity and like, we could like give such like input to the story and like how this film looks finally. Ask questions.
Okay.
I wonder if you could tell us more about sort of your process from script to screen, because obviously there must have been a script, but I imagine, like you said, it was quite free when you were taking on the set, I imagine. You know, especially with your main actor not being um, a very cooperative one. So I just wonder, because also there was sort of an element, maybe almost kind of a level of documentary work in there in a way. It felt like it was quite observational how the monkey works and stuff. So I just wonder, what was the prep for that? How did you prep yourself to then coming on set and having to be so kind of reactive and
So like the first phase was reading the script, which was super precise. Like all the scenes were much more brilliant than what you guys saw on the screen. But on the set, like you know, on the set, you know, we crashed with reality of like you know, we're an animal, and of course we needed to like. We could only capture part of those like ideas which were like written in the script. I'm usually a cinematographer who's like doing very heavy pre-production work. And when I started to work with Jerzy, who is more like loose creator director who doesn't need like such like you know preparation before he starts to shoot. I also like you know crash with completely different like ideology of like you know making films. So you know my approach was that you know I prepared as much as it was possible, and later on I like you know faced to you know situation in which we like you know went on the set and like you know trying to figure out how to like you know improvisations and reacting on you know what animal like you know offered us to offer us yeah I somehow should yeah I needed to like manage to do the scene and like try to capture like you know somehow the sense of the scene. Sometimes you know it was more completed like we did like you know what was written in the script, but mainly we could do only the part of the scene because you know it's stubborn talking.
Yes, we'll give you word, but I'm just following this. We see, I guess that's the result of very long process of shooting the donkey, his face, close-ups, and you observe his, her, because there are and female and male donkeys. But it's like emotions from their faces. Sometimes we see like they are very sad, sometimes happy, and I guess you try to shoot as many possible.
I think it's coming more from edit because Donkey was just standing there, emotionless being, and what was our quest to capture enough footage to have later on during the edits footage to create emotions. So I think it was one of the most interesting things in this project that somehow I touched the essence of filmmaking, where you're creating emotions by creating sequence of the pictures. So yeah, all those I think how I compose all those details of donkey's eyes or his ears or I don't know legs or anything. Somehow it created the emotions and yeah, it helped a lot with faking emotions. And I hope that those emotion works on the screen. And somehow this film touched you.
Yeah, that's beautiful listening when
Yeah. Yeah, for example, the moment when there is this, the scene of the football match, and in the script was written that Donkey's brain, the football kicker is missing the goal because Donkey's brain. We couldn't capture it, and we needed to find different solutions. So we did the close up on Donkey's hoof, and later on in the edit was used as a cut between missing the goal and the donkey's brain, which is off screen. And yeah, we work all the time in this way. We cheat a lot. We cheat a lot. We cheat, constantly. In this way.
I would like to ask you how it comes that you cooperate with Rzeczy Polimovsky. Have you worked before this thing?
And
And what have you thought when you read the first time the script? What were your thoughts?
so my collaboration with Jerzy started at my older friend Michal Dymek, who was the initial DOP in this project. He got the COVID, and he called me if I can, jump his place for a few days. Super simple sequence in the forest, and he said, "No, listen, it's gonna be very easy shoot. You don't have to, worry about this. You just come on the south of Poland, shoot, 3 days with Jerzy Kolimowski. It's for sure gonna be fun." And I said, "Why not? Jerzy Kolimowski, the legend of Polish cinema, great." And then I got the script. Immediately I got the script, and I read it. Of course, it was first impression was this is brilliant, excellent story. Already I got so many impressions, connected with the Robert Bresson movie. I got so many connection in general about the cultural connection and connection with different movies, and I really fall in love with the script. But unluckily, day after, Jerzy Kolimowski called me and said, "Good evening, Mr. Michal. I'm really happy that you read the script, but unfortunately, it's too radical change for me." And they decided to cancel those shoots. And a few months later, because the project started somewhere around the beginning of pandemic, because all those situation, what happened was postponed every 3 months, and suddenly Michał got another film, or he had because the name of this first DP also is Michał. He got different movie, and he got the scheduling conflict. and because of this, he needed to reject, quit this project and do another one, and then Jerzy Składkowski called me and invited me to coffee, talk about possibilities of together collaboration, and yeah, it's how it started. How it started, and I like the script. Script was brilliant, really. It was one of the best scripts I ever read. Yeah.
But do you think you read it? You were not surprised somehow?
I was terrified.
How
I was terrified. How to shoot all the scenes. I had plenty thoughts. How to make donkey walking straight or kicking somebody in the head, killing but also so exciting, and thinking that you're gonna be on a set where donkey is supposed to do all the stuff. So I was also thrilled about how we're gonna to manage to shoot it. So it was such a challenge also for me from the same beginning at the end.
Did you have one initial idea in your mind that you got from the director?
Our main core sentence which we use every day or during any problems which came up on the set was that the most important thing for us was visual image in this project. So sometimes when we had some struggles, what's important in this scene or how we should do it, we always came back to this sentence, this rule, the most important. I know it's very wide, sentence. Because of the sentence, sometimes we wasn't focused on acting, but we were more focused to shoot properly or in impressive way locations where we shot. It was somehow our team hard, how to exist during work on this project. Yeah. Is it enough? A good answer or?
I have one question. I really like the angle with the spread here. So how did you do that?
Sorry.
With the scrap metal yard when at the beginning of the music, and there is one frame when you go with the hand.
Yeah.
How was that done?
We mounted camera under this cloth and just press the red button, and the camera operator of this machine started to taking stuff from one place and putting on the top of the this.
But basically, it was fixed. Yes.
Yeah, it was fixed. My dream was to mount the drawing and had the extra additional control of the camera and put pan or tilting, but it was also so many ideas of the camera angles came out so quickly and suddenly on the set that it wasn't. Maybe this one was planned because it was risky shot, kind of dangerous. So we needed to plan before on technically, and we needed to set them aloud that we're going to shoot this type of shoot. And it was very simple, rig somehow fixed by belts and some aluminum pipes. My key grip did it. Just shut it. Yes, please.
Did you have some connection with the film Balthazar from
So the connection is that I also asked this question to Jerzy when we started to work together, and his answer was that this is one of the favorite films. When he in '60s, when he shot his movie called Valkover, those two films, Valkover and they were selected as to the best movies in '66 or something, and yeah, Jerzy fell in love in this movie, and he wanted to, yeah, like thanks to Robert Bresson by this yeah, made a contribution to it. It was like loose, what's the word?
That is a good word.
Yeah, like it was. Yeah, the starting point was think. I mean,
Tribute.
tribute. Yeah, tribute. Much. But it's not. Beside of this, it's not super like similar to the film or the song. I think it's like it's main motif. Of course, it's the same. So it's strong. It is and it isn't. So
Both films are actually studies of anthropology, human behavior. Who are we and how
subject
we
of
can.
reflection of human being like designs.
You, some of the scenes were made in Italy. This is the first time that yeah, also with another film.
Yeah, it's funny. We shot this film almost it was shot in Poland. Only huge exterior scenes were shot in Italy at the end of in the March this year. But whole rest was shot in Poland. All like Italian interiors were shot in Poland. All skiing sequence was shot in Poland as well. Some part of the landscapes and donkeys POV were shot on the highway in the mountains in Austria, but rest of them was shot in Poland. So we also did in this sense also doing everything in Poland.
Yeah, I'm just trying to ask about natural colors. Italy, you had another from Dolce experience with shooting there, so maybe you tell us about this natural ways, natural colors. How is that making the difference in one film, doing something in north of
Location looks completely different, nature looks completely different, sun is a little bit different. Also, looks sometimes pretty the same. It's hard for me to compare those two films. They are completely two different stories, and I'm trying to treat each project very individual and thinking about. There's not any additional thought connecting those two films, but if I would need to compare this Italian movie which I shot a few years ago, where shot it in completely different moments of nature, was completely different. It was middle of the summer. The EO was shot it in the very early spring, so nature was completely different, moment of its life. So, yeah, I mean, we wanted for sure, if we are talking about EO, we wanted to deeper, Italian sequence from the Polish chapter. So that's why, Italian moment is much more warmer and more sunnish and more saturated than the Polish one, or moment of transportation between Poland to Italy. So yeah, I remember that Jerzy really wanted to he pushed so much to this contrast. I think in the end it's a good idea, but I remember that I wanted to create it much colder and less less saturated.
Maybe you can share with us some technical details
So, film was shot on Alexa Mini LED. Our main set of lenses, it was Canon K35, to which I sometimes added Leica lenses, Leica R. It was, those additional lenses was 19 and 60, macro 60. We of course had the zoom, Panavision zoom, 135 to 420. In Italy, unluckily, unfortunately, we didn't have possibility of having the same set of lenses, so I needed to choose between Cook and size Supreme. I choose Supreme because I really cared about the size of the lenses. I really needed like having as light as possible camera setup, so it's very much lighter. So yeah, I went with size. So yeah, it was again like mixture of different glasses. So hopefully on the end of the screen you didn't feel disturbed by the difference between them. Yeah, as I said, I really cared about the weight of the camera and to keep it as small as possible, because I did a lot of handheld work where I was running behind the donkey, following him, really doing other crazy stuff with camera as well. And what else from technical? Yeah, we shot open gate. We choose this aspect ratio because during camera test, I found that somehow any different aspect ratio doesn't help to photographing shapes, donkey shapes. Somehow organically, I felt that shapes of donkey's head, it's much better composed in the picture, which is more squarish and wider. That's why we went to 3:2 and we shot everything open gates using what I call resolution of this camera. We shot it in RAW, of course. Sometimes we use, of course, slow motion to enhance some, most of the scene. Yeah, we use a lot of, weird rigs for, mounting camera, weird places, for example, this single claw machine. We try to fix camera to donkey, but on the end, the most successful technique was just shooting handheld and following crazy donkey and being just next to him, coexist together in a very deep way. And yeah, we shot also drones with those crazy first-person view drones as well. Using GoPro sometimes. Yeah, we also, what was interesting in this whole sequence where donkey travels from Poland to Italy. We shot it in 4 different places. This sequence of travel through the mountains were shot in 4 different locations. And I think it's interesting thing to talk about, because all interior scenes where we see animals close in the truck, we couldn't shoot in natural in a way, traveling with them, because it wasn't ethically proper, and that's why we decided to shoot everything in the stage. We put in some shed huge truck, put horse inside and donkey, and we create some artificial moving lights around it. So it was first location. Later on, I shot some additional close-up of donkey in different stages, and on the end, I went with very small crew, very limited crew, to the trip by car to the Austrian mountains, where we shot all all those like POVs on donkey. A lot of like those shots were completely documentary style shooted, takes. We just hunted for good moments, good weather, and what else? There was the fourth location. Minus.
How did you make the donkeys go where you wanted it to go? Did you have people like some food in front of it? Or,
Yes, it was one of the way how we treat and force him to do what we wanted to do. Or the main solution, main tool was like little super tiny and thin leash which we tied to his neck and having like each side of the frame where we wanted to force him to move. So it was our main way how to help with traveling in the frame. Then of course tons of carrots, tons of apples. We use them a lot as well. And on the end, like I said, we had different sex donkey. Taco and Mona, they were like the couple, and sometimes Taco, especially Taco, he wanted to reach Ola, so we put Ola somewhere let's say behind the hill and asked him to go Ola, go to Ola. That's fine. This is the way how we also made them movie.
But you did not have a problem with PETA, or did they took PETA? That's like animal rights.
No, I mean we treat them properly. We didn't hurt them. We work with keeping all those ethic and rules on. So yeah, they were very happy on our side.
Because they lots of times find problems with it.
Yeah, it's risky. It's risky, but without risk there is no fun, and so we treat them in very good conditions. And
No donkeys were harmed. Shooting.
no donkey. No.
There was one moment when it didn't have to say that sausage from Manaki, yeah.
I really like the reaction. The actor saying this line. Salami. Means
Yes, I was just wondering, going back to what you were kind of talking about, the technical details and all your kind of decisions. Obviously, you also have a very bold use of color in the film, and I wonder, with the fact that you had to be so flexible, how much of that was pre-planned and kind of came with the right equipment, the right filter, or whatever to set that day, and how much of that was improvised on set, and how much maybe was kind of decided in post-production?
You're talking about the red color, probably.
There is some red sequences, but even some stuff kind of in the night is also quite expressionistic, like the blues in my reading of it.
I don't shooting during dawn or dusk, so I'm trying to push as much as possible to shoot all those moments of saying goodbye to donkey, or moments of the donkey on top of the hill, which even wasn't in the script. It was just during the location scouting, we found such a beautiful place, and I later on I showed to Jerzy some pictures from which I took from this location, and we all together in love in this location, and we said we must shoot something here, and we decided to shoot this expressionistic moment when he came out from the tunnel. And about the color, I think this red color was only one moment when I decided to think about color more deeply. It was I came up with this idea of using this color when I read this when I read the scene moment when driver on truck is killed by this refugee. And I thought that this blood where suddenly is everywhere in the cabin of this truck could be also a nice color, the lighting of the interior. And then, of course, I got the idea of this symbol of death, and maybe it's good to extend more across the whole movie. It was like the source of this idea. Then to the moment when I did the grading, for example, the sequence of with the drones were initially without this red layer, so it was like normal shooting like drone shots, which because of different cameras didn't look like nice in my mind. And I decided during watching the one of the final edit version and seeing like the moment when Donkey is standing on the top of the hill, watching the horizon, where was very thin red line. I thought it was good motif which I could use for like entering, for explaining this, the explanation of this red sequence was that, it's the donkey's dream or the donkey's vision about red sunset. And that's why we decided to change whole drone sequence to the red. And then when Jerzy saw the result of this, he decided to even put more of this color for later moment when he's like, under those like huge turbines and when Doug is falling down to the pond. So it was like together decision because, we were so excited about, watching everything in very monochromatic red look. And then again, the red color, we repeated red color at the beginning of the film, where we watching the performance of Cassandra and Yo. It was like, again, natural repetition of what we started to like very much. So we both really like the red color, and I'm general thinking, I'm usually, trying to put red color as a counterpoint in each of my film. So, yeah, I really like red color. There's nothing deeper behind it. I just.
I'd like to know how long did you shoot this scene at dusk when she came to Donkey and she drank? How many?
3 days. 3 days.
3 days?
Yeah, it was 3 days. I mean, it was my idea to shoot it in the dusk, but I said that it's impossible to shoot it during 1 day, so let's risk and let's divide the scene on 3 days because we had 5 days there, and scheduling the shooting day in the way where we could like in the first part of the patient something different, and then moving to the location of this goodbye signature. And first day I remember that we shoot everything. Like, our initial idea was very advanced. We had so many camera angles, so many setups to do this scene, because this scene was 5 pages or something. It was really, really long dialogue. At the end, there's no dialogue at all. But in the script, this dialogue between John, Cassandra, and me was very dense and long, and we had so many angles. But of course, dusk is super short moment during the day, and after first day, we discovered that it would be very hard to shoot again what was written in the script. So second day, we didn't have good weather. We had a really cloudy sky, and it didn't look so nice as it was first day. And the third day, we decided to shoot everything in 1 day. And it helped a lot, because, it was, I don't know, it worked better in my mind. It was much more emotionally involving, and luckily, somehow we captured. But yeah, we divided on 3 days, but on the end, what you saw the screen was shot mainly during the third day.
Could you please talk in a few more words about your approach on the main storyline? I mean,
not the red parts, but the main shots with Dante. What was the balance between this hard preparation and improvisation? Did you have everything storyboarded, or you?
No, like I said, I love like very advanced preparation. So what I'm usually doing, like when I'm going to locations, I'm taking a lot of photos. I'm taking like all possible like camera angles, checking like ideas for blocking, ideas for how to tell each scene, and together with our production designer Mietek, we travel really like months together and discovering all those like beautiful like spots and gaining the inspiration from them. I think it's my main approach that I really connected with the places where we were shooting. They gave me like a lot of ideas how to shoot each scene. So later on, with like some ideas how I would like to shoot the scene, I discuss my suggestions, ideas with Jerzy. Jerzy accept them or not, or he did some changes. And when we step on the set, I'm trying to, when I step on the set, I'm trying to know what to do, but I'm also open and I'm aware that film set is like lottery, and sometimes, especially when you are working animal, it's super hard to like predict everything will be alright. So we needed to be like flexible and to have like some idea which could be modified later. So the way how I mainly approach to the shooting days. And another thing was that because it was filmed about donkey, we said also the camera should be always donkey. So when somehow it's supposed to have like donkey energy, donkey curiosity, and somehow it was like inspired by it. Then also the another trick which we used when we couldn't like overtake some problems, limitations, or like stubborn donkey was that we shot donkey's POV, and again we cheated with a story by adding some like subjective donkey shot. So for example, the scene when the donkey is escaping from the donkey's farm, we couldn't like we couldn't like manage to like force him to like throwing off this beam from the fence. So we decided to shoot his POV, which I was simply walking, just trying to be as much as long as possible and pretending his perspective is taken from there. And yeah, again, we try to find as strongest as possible like images, like we try to like being in the most like picturesque way without focusing on something common.
Did you, maybe strange question, did you maybe have lens test with Donkey to see how it matches his shape?
I mean, we did camera tests with one donkey, because second one was absent that day. And sometimes we went to the set and we didn't know which donkey would be today. So it was very stressful and very like, it was very stressing. But, I thought that it would be the problem. That we working with so many donkeys where they were completely different from each other. But on the end, I have to say, it's different. So it was also a great thing which Jerzy always like repeating that you don't have to like worrying so much about these things because you don't like it. Now, if somebody will start to like picking up all those different things, they feel it's not good.
Thank you.
Okay, we have another question, please.
So you mentioned a lot of improvisation, of course, in terms of camera movements and camera approach. But when we talk about movie, you also mentioned a lot your preparation in terms of lighting and making sure that lighting was creating an appropriate background for you to improvise in camera. So could you describe that a bit more?
So yeah, I mean, my approach to lighting in this film was that I needed to be prepared for like everything. I needed to like create the complex lighting environment which could like help me without any like obstacles, like any tripods, any construct lighting construction. So I needed to like think very complex. So usually we shot like 360, which meant that we use one overall like lighting source, or we didn't use it. And sometimes, of course, because Danke was stubborn, we lost the exposure, and we needed to extend, by artificial, by our lamps, we needed to extend the lighting exposure, and during also this dust scene, we used the light to extend the ambient to put up higher the ambient light to enhance exposure as well. Good. Okay. Yes.
Question. The scene where the donkey gets beaten up, like to shoot from donkey points of view and the blurry part a little bit. Is it more like post production or on set? How do you hear like?
Yeah, we did it in a very simple way. I just became donkey for a second and lie down on the ground and like imagine what I would do if I would be a donkey. Imitate what Dante could see during such a awful moment in his life, and on the end I decided to pour some drops on the clear filter in front of the lens to create such a subjective moment when he's already almost when he's almost dying. So yeah, we pour some raindrops on this filter, and that's it. Just moving lots of crazy movements, weird angles, that's it. No any additional post production.
Thank you very much. I will just use this opportunity to invite you to a screening of the student films 2:30 in the Cinema Manaki, where we can see one film from the students of Watch, where Michal Dymek studied and graduated, and it's really one of the most influential academies, but schools, Polish schools. We had here a lot of laureates from Polish cinema. Ryszard was one of the last. We always want to have guests from Polish school of cinematography. They do the right thing. Thank you again, Michal.
Thanks so much.